These are things I wish I had known before my first baby, starting with labor and delivery. I wish I had known going in more about the different stages of labor, particularly that when the pain becomes the worst, that's when transition is happening and you are really close to pushing out your baby. I got to this point with my first baby and thought I still had so much more time to labor since it was my first delivery that I ended up getting an epidural even though I had hoped to do a med-free delivery. I wish I had known how close I was to actually having my baby so that I could push through that pain and skip the epidural. I also wish I had known how much water there would be when my water broke. It was not at all a one and done gush like I thought it was gonna be. It was continual a lot for a while, and that totally caught me off guard. Something that completely shocked me that I haven't really heard many other moms say is how shocked I was that there was an actual tiny human being that came out of my body. I don't know why this surprised me so much. Obviously, I know that's what's happening during pregnancy, but when our baby came out, I was like, oh my goodness, that is an actual human being, and it was the most amazing, shocking thing. I was fortunate going into my first pregnancy, having known many other women who had given birth, including older siblings. I was a newborn photographer for a while, so I heard so many stories and I had so much to prepare. So this is something that I knew ahead of time and was thankful for, is that once your baby is born, your belly will not be flat right away. You will look like you're about 6 months pregnant for a little while and your belly will be very squishy, and that's totally okay. Your body just expanded beyond what you even thought was possible to grow this human being in your body, so it needs time to shrink back to regular size and heal. I heard someone say once that it took 9 months to grow that baby. Give your body at least that much time to shed the weight that you gained during pregnancy. I wish I had realized more fully that even if I got back down to my pre-pregnancy weight, my body would just never be totally the same again. There will always be some extra skin from stretching so much, and clothes will just fit differently, and that's okay. I wish I had known to bring more substantial nutrient-dense foods into labor and delivery. I ended up giving birth at almost midnight, and I hadn't been allowed to eat anything the whole time I was in the hospital laboring, which had been since 2 p.m. And my body was absolutely starving after delivery. The only thing that they had to offer me until breakfast the next morning was some animal crackers, and that's not nearly enough, and really a shame for new moms who have basically just done the hardest thing that they have ever done in their entire lives, and they have nothing to eat after. I had brought my own protein bars and things like that, but that was definitely not nearly enough. So recently I've learned that you can bring a mini crock pot to the hospital to reheat hearty soups and stewed fruits and things like that will help you replenish minerals and lots of good nutrients after you have your baby. Along those same lines, I wish I had just eaten food during labor. It's basically a crime that women are prohibited from eating during labor, since it's the most labor-intensive, pun intended, thing that you will ever do in your entire life, and you're not allowed to eat and fuel yourself during that. So if you're low risk and the nurses have left the room, just eat the food. I wish I had known how to advocate for myself better. I ended up with completely unnecessary interventions that were specifically on my birth plan not to do, and I wish I had had enough confidence to say absolutely not. Along those same lines, I wish I had done way more research into all of the possible medical interventions and procedures that are done throughout pregnancy and labor and delivery and throughout our baby's first couple of years. I spent more time researching which baby monitor we wanted. There are so many things that I thought we just had to do and were just the norm, and I trusted our doctors and our pediatrician, but I wish we had been truly informed so that we could give or not give actual informed consent. Something I knew ahead of time that was helpful is how much food I would need to eat postpartum, especially as a breastfeeding mama. You need more calories while breastfeeding than you did during pregnancy. So you should be eating at least 2,500, if not more, calories while you're breastfeeding after you deliver. Make sure you're getting plenty of water and good healthy fats too, which are essential for making breast milk. Another thing I knew ahead of time to do, which I was so thankful for, was freezer meal prep. I spent about the whole last month of my pregnancy making extras of each meal so that I could put those in the freezer and I ended up stocking up enough that I didn't have to cook dinner for 2 months. We also gladly accepted a meal train from the ladies at our church and meals from family, and that lasted us about 2 weeks postpartum. Accept help when it's offered. The last thing I'll leave you with is encouragement that God gave your baby to you and your husband if you're married, to steward well and to care for. Everyone around you is going to have every opinion in the world on how you should do this and that for your baby, for your pregnancy, for labor and delivery. But at the end of the day, you are the ones who will be responsible for the decisions made for you and your baby. Be gracious with advice that is offered, and be humble enough to change your mind when is necessary. But ultimately, do your research and be confident in the decisions that you make for your family. Don't let anybody sway you in your decisions on things that you're confident in. If you found this video to be helpful, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.